Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Listen, I wasn't going to do a video, but I couldn't help it. Not only could I not help it, I also wanted to bring you guys something to your attention that I think it's important regarding the Liam Payne situation. So apparently, there are some people online that have analyzed the 911 call from the hotel Palermo, Casa Sur, Palermo, right? And shout out to this person on Twitter. And by the way, shout out to everybody on Twitter or X. I think that's what it's called. But this specific person has been, really trying to bring attention and light to what's been going on with Liam Payne's case. And, anyways, so she puts on Twitter, guys, some people were analyzing the call, the 911 call. This is the first 911 call made by Esteban Grassi. Esteban Grassi is one of the people that is in the picture, basically carrying Liam. He's also like the head person, hotel person. Now, remember when I told you guys that there were two 911 calls? The first one hadn't been released, at least not to my knowledge. And then the second one had been released, right? Well, it looks like this is the first 911 call. People were analyzing this call and realized that there are voices in this call behind, specifically a woman who they believe is Gilda, who basically tells people, help me to lift him up. Okay. I'm going to play this part. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do y'all think about this 911 call?
¿Dónde es emergencia?
Hola.
911, ¿dónde es emergencia?
Hola, buenas tardes. Mira, te estoy llamando del Hotel Casa Sur Palermo que queda en Costa Rica 6032.
6032 es capital entre Arevalo y Kramer.
Sí, correcto. Entre Arevalo y Dorrego creo que es. Bueno, nada, tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y está rompiendo toda la habitación. Así que necesitamos que venga alguien.
Entiendo, me dice entonces que es agresivo. Señor, ¿me repite el nombre del hotel, por favor? Señor.
Okay, let me stop right here. There is clearly a lot of background noise, and they've said that this is the first call. All right. I have so many questions about this call. Number one is who released it? Nowadays, we have people that can alter calls and do different things with AI. In the back of my mind, I can't help but wonder, like, who released this call? When was it released? The exact date? Was it released when the second call was released? What happened? How come we hear so much noise in the background in this call than the second call? Right? So then people, I guess, on this call started analyzing the background conversation. And they said they hear a woman that in Spanish basically is saying, help me to lift him. Now, I personally have said, and it is my theory, that Liam Payne died before the 911 call. Simply because the 911 call is very telling about the things that they needed, what they didn't need it, what they were worried about, and then happens to be the thing that happens, right? Like this person, Liam Payne, falls from the third floor, right? And then like all of the 911 call is just so weird. So again, this is, I guess, the first call, and it's being analyzed in the way in which they're talking about how they hear a woman say, help me to lift him up. Okay, let me play that portion where they say they hear that. Okay, I could hear somebody, a female voice, ayúdame a levantar. Ayúdame a levantar. I definitely hear somebody say, ayúdame a levantar. And like I said, I'm very skeptical about this because I'm like, anybody could do this, right? Like anybody could put this together, and I hope that that's not the case. But here's the problem with this situation, and I got to tell you, we're going to get into this piece of information that I need to tell everybody, okay? And I'm struggling with, and I need some advice. We'll get there. But we know that the 911 call, the second one, has been released, and it's kind of like, you know, it basically says what Esteban's worries are. Okay. I'm worried about this person. When he's asleep, unconscious, he's fine, but then he wakes up and he starts destroying a bunch of things. That's what he says, right? And that's the piece that it's like, this is the craziest 911 call, because it was like he kind of foretold what happened to Liam. Okay. And then I guess this is the first call, the first 911 call. I don't know where it was released. Was it officially? And now they're analyzing. And I could hear it in Spanish. Ayúdame a levantar. Ayúdame a levantar. I'll play it again, y'all. That piece specifically. Which is exactly that. Help me lift. Now, if this is the first 911 call, I definitely feel like it sounds different, right, than the second. Because even in the beginning of the call, there's kind of more traffic that we can hear in the background. And I'm going to play it here again.
¿Una emergencia?
Hola.
911, ¿una emergencia?
Hola, buenas tardes. Mira, te estoy llamando del Hotel Casa Sur Palermo, que queda en Costa Rica 6032.
6032 está entre Arevalo y Kramer.
Sí, correcto. Entre Arevalo y Dorrego, creo que es. Bueno, nada, tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y está rompiendo toda la habitación. Huésped que está... bueno, nada, tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y está rompiendo toda la habitación.
He says, we have somebody who's taken too many drugs and they are tearing up the room. Let me go back a little bit. This is why I was rewinding it a bit.
Tenemos un huésped que está sobrepasado de droga y está rompiendo toda la habitación. Así que necesitamos que venga alguien.
Entiendo, me dice entonces que es agresivo.
The second 911 call, okay, the one that we all heard, the one that was initially released, doesn't say all that. Okay, it definitely sounds different. Now I have more questions about why release this one. How did they release? Why didn't they release them at the same time? I have a lot of questions about how did Esteban, the hotel manager, know that he was taking too many drugs? I personally feel like they were probably facilitating a lot of that. I mean, shouldn't be a surprise. Your employees are, dealing drugs, doing all that. There's a lot to this, right? Which then brings me to my other point, okay? I was sent anonymously a recording. The Liam Payne fangirls, fan group, shout out to them, really nice ladies, had a conversation with Braian Paiz, okay? And Braian Paiz was giving them, it was like in a private setting, I guess, more information about what's going on. There were things in there that Braian had not publicly said, like mainstream or on YouTube. And what I was told was that this recording is no longer available on, Twitter for people to review. But I have a copy of the recording. So I messaged a couple of the fan girls specifically, right? And respectfully, basically requested that, listen, like, there is an issue here with information and how things are being said and what's being said, what's being publicized, how things are being publicized. I basically wrote a message to one of the group ladies who happens to be from Argentina. And I basically said, hi, my name is Alex. An anonymous person sent me a message about a conversation that the Liam Payne fan group had with Brian Paiz. They wanted me to post it, but that's not what I like to do, especially after learning that you all have been fans of Liam Payne for many years and your dealings with Rogelio Nores. Okay. And based on the recording that I was able to listen to, it sounds like a lot of the fans dealt with Rogelio Nores one way or another. I mean, Rogelio Nores, as much as he wants to get away from that title, I mean, he managed Liam Payne to a certain degree. They had to go through Rogelio Roger Norris to get to Liam Payne. In my heart, I feel like this was all a setup. I live in the US and Roger has TMZ and In Touch controlled to deliver misinformation about the case. That is my opinion, especially when I'm listening to conversations by the locals in Argentina and others that are saying that's not what's going on. This is not what's happening. So in the US, our major sources are In Touch, TMZ, people, these sources that are easily manipulated and bought by anybody. Whereas in YouTube, you have a YouTuber and you may not like the way the delivery is or the message, but at the very least, that there is work behind the message that they're providing. So anyways, I messaged this. In addition, I like to help through my YouTube channel, but of course I'm asking for advice because I want to be true to the information. I hope this makes sense and you understand my intentions. So I had an opportunity to actually go on one of the spaces where the young women were talking about this and kind of introduce myself and say like, listen, I really want to be able to bring like what is truthful if you guys are sitting on information, because that's the thing about, I'm in the US, y'all. Like, I feel like information is literally not being filtered to us the way that it needs to be. And I cannot be the only one that feels that way. I'm pretty sure we are relying on these stupid effing sources, these In Touch people, TMZ, that could be easily bought. And that's my complete frustration with it. So if you are a fan of this in the fan group or whatever, shout out to you. My dilemma right now is that, should this Brian Paiz recording be released or not? And my hope, I mean, they can make it public and then some of us are able to translate it, because there was key information that was said there that I thought was interesting. To me, Brian Paiz is somebody that is consistently switching up his story, which was what happened. We may not know the whole story of everything, but a lot of this is just coming up to be just so weird to me. I'm going to do my best to talk to somebody, to talk to an attorney and see what it is that we can obtain, documents wise, because I want to be able to see some court documents. And it's amazing to me that you have these selective, multi-million dollar media platforms that are able to do that. And yet little old us over here, we can't do that. But yet our reach is just as far. I don't know, y'all. That's my dilemma in my mind. And I'm trying to kind of talk this through. Shout out to Julia, who's been listening to me a bit. But I really wanted to bring it to you guys. I mean, here we have this situation with this 911 call that there's some clear manipulation happening. And I don't want to go upon some crazy ass conspiracy theory about what didn't happen, what could have happened. If your issue as a fan of Liam Payne, if your issue is that you feel like you don't like the way in which a creator is given information, or maybe you don't like the title or the thumbnail of something. I know I'm very receptive to feedback, but I need your guys' help. Um, and I'm saying this because as somebody who resides in the United States, I'm not the only creator. I know that the information that y'all are receiving for the locals out there is different than what we are receiving. And I've been told time and time again. I mean, even this damn 911 call that is said to be the first. Like, what is that all about? Okay. that is just a little rant that I have. And I'm releasing this tonight with the minimal editing. My question is, do I release this Braian Paiz audio recording? What do you guys think? This secretive audio recording. Without translation, y'all can put subtitles on it because I don't want to be accused of manipulating anything or anything like that. I really want to know what you guys think in the comments. So I'm asking for your guys' advice on that. By the way, Braian Paiz also had court today, and according to his, I knew he had court because of this conversation that he had with this group of women, fans, Liam Payne fans, and it sounds like he had a great day in court. I don't know what that means. My understanding is that he could be arrested at any time, depending on what they find, what else they find in the investigation. So, y'all, let me know. What do you guys think? I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.